Are you ready to become an escapreneur? Well, you were in the right place. Welcome to the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast, designed by brilliant women, especially for brilliant women who want to create the life of their dreams by escaping the 9 to 5.
Welcome to the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast, where we are helping women to escape the 9 to 5 and build a business that they love so that they can live the life that they love. And I am so excited today to share my guest with you. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. This is going to be a treat because Anna is with me here today, and she will be sharing something that is super amazing. Hey, Anna, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Kimberly, and I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me intro her so we can get started. Anna Kowalska is a scientific hand analyst, transformational coach, artist, and I'm going to mess this up, Anna. Alchemical creation priestess. Oh, I can't wait to ask her what that means. Oh my gosh. Anna has an insatiable appetite for discovering how to help others feed that hunger that keeps them awake at night. And I'm sure a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about. You've had it too. So she's going to use scientific hand analysis as the fail-proof guide. Anna guides her clients out of almost, someday, when then you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. We say it all the time. And she leads us into the life that is filled with possibility, creativity, love, and rich fulfillment, all using her hand analysis. I'm so excited. Anna spent over a decade in real estate and finance industry, which gave her a very good practical base and approach to life and business. So Anna is just, so I just want to be clear, this all ties into business. She understands business. She can help set a solid goal, adjust your mindset, and call in all the powers while taking steps to creating the exact life she envisions for herself or for you.
Yep.
Yes. And I'm so excited to have you here. Oh my gosh.
Thank you. That was a very rich introduction. Thank you for that.
Oh my gosh, because it is so amazing. I'm one of those people, Anna, that believe that there is a purpose for every single thing. Mm-hmm. So ever since I was a little girl, I knew that the lines in my hand meant something. I just didn't know what they meant. We would tease as kids. We would talk about the lifeline, and we didn't know what we were talking about. It was stuff we read. And I had a sister, this little line in the middle of my hand is broken, but hers is so much longer. And she would say, "That's your lifeline. Your lifeline is very short. You're not going to live long." She would tell me that. She had no clue what she was talking about. But Anna's going to straighten all of this out for us today.
Yes.
Tell us about you, Anna.
Okay, so I know we only have 30 minutes and I could talk for hours. So I grew up in Poland, which is at the time when I was growing up was very structured country. I grew up in an environment that everything was done for a reason, and everything there was no such thing as entrepreneurialism, at least in my bubble. Government controlled everything, and then I came to America at 16 and a half. And I remember when I was a very young teenager, and somebody in our town opened up a small boutique, and I had this inkling of like, wow, there is this thing you can do on your own that government doesn't direct or control. And then when I came to America, of course, this is the land of opportunity and then land of opening up your own business, right? I never had an example of that set for me in my immediate life, nor was I taught to believe that it's possible for me to do that. I thought that opening up your own business, being an entrepreneur, is something that you either born with, or somebody teaches you along the way, like you're born into it. Either you're born with or you're born into it. And that's what I believed about a lot of things. And I will lead into the hand analysis and how it came about. But I had this belief that you're just like born into or with something. And when I came to America, I was introduced to opportunity, right? I mean, you can do anything in this country that you absolutely want to, no matter what is happening in this country, how much we like it or don't like it. It's still one of the best places to create your life based on exactly what you want, or find out what you want and create it then, right? So I started thinking like, okay, what does my life look like if I create what I want? And I was very lucky, even though I had jobs along the way, and that's the only way I still knew how to create life, is you go get a job and make a living. At some point in my life, I stumbled upon a relationship that taught me that no, that's not the case. You don't have to be born with what it is, born with skills of being a great entrepreneur. You can actually learn things. And I ventured into learning, and I started to create. So my last job was in 2001. That's the last time I had a job where I had benefits, 401k, and somebody told me where to go, what time, and what to do. Yes. And I really have been really lucky because I got some amazing influence at the very beginning, and I got some really hard lessons from people that really took tremendous risks. So by the time it was 2008, I was kind of trying to figure out what it is that I'm doing. And I got into real estate at the best time in New York. That's when I was in real estate, title, mortgages. My ex-fiance at the time and I made a ton of money. So I got to taste what it's like to make money. And then I gave up everything, and eventually I claimed bankruptcy because I was not equipped to deal with what was coming my way. So I started to, I know I'm going into the whole story, but I want to give the audience and the listeners an idea of this person that's speaking to them, that I've experienced a whole span of things to get to where I am. And I still don't claim to know that I know exactly where I should be, right? So I started to learn like, wow, okay, these are these lessons. If you don't do certain things, you really could end up in bankruptcy. You still don't die. I still didn't end up on the streets, but I understood what it meant, the shame, the guilt, the lessons about money, and lessons about what I knew and what I didn't know. And I started to create things differently. And I would start manifesting. I got into manifesting, right? Like, what you think, you like Think and Grow Rich. You can think up things and manifest them. And I started to manifest things, certain visions, certain lifestyle, and none of it felt right to me. And I realized that what I was creating were other people's desires, and the vision that I had, visions of what I had for my business and my life, were given to me by other people, what other people expected of me.
Wow.
That's when I found hand analysis. I was convinced by a friend of mine to have hand analysis done. I didn't know anything about it. I thought it was just like your sister thought. You know, short lifeline, you're going to live short life, right? I thought that there were like, you know, the M means money. Like I had all, and that hands were used to predict the future. And I didn't want any of that. I got burned in the past and I didn't want any of that. So, but I did some more research about hand analysis. I had my hands read, and the woman who was the hand analyst for me, who analyzed my hands, pretty much picked exactly things about me and my life that I knew were true, even though I grew up thinking that none of it was innate. So for example, she said, you're an artist, but I didn't grow up knowing myself as an artist. I didn't grow up with a particular talent, so I didn't grow up as a business owner, knowing what it's like to be a business owner, and being a leader is part of my purpose. So all the things she was telling me were true. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, somebody sees me. Somebody sees what I'm here to do, even though I didn't feel I was born with that. So hand analysis has been a key component to me understanding who I really am, what my purpose is, getting a validation that what I sensed my whole entire life was true, and then stop creating based on what other people thought about me and the ideas that I had based on expectations, and just break out of the box and say, this is who I really am. I am a leader. I am an artist. I am an intuitive. I'm here to create something different. And that's when I started to really embrace this other part of me, the creative, the artist, the intuitive, bringing in together with all this very, very practical mortgage title. I mean, I'm very earthy, so I'm a Taurus, I'm earth sign. Alchemical priestess means that I work that I work with elements to help people create, putting all the elements into the concoction of what we create. So it's not just out there by ourselves. We include the elements in creating what we do. So hand analysis has been my guide ever since my first reading. My first analysis has been my guide in what I do, how I do it, and who I am here to be fully. And I use my business as an expression of who I am, of my skills and my purpose and my gifts. And now this is what I do for people who are like, what am I here to do? I have this yearning, I have this desire, right? For freedom, for expression, to help other people. And I don't know what to do with it. I have no idea, I'm lost. And I use scientific hand analysis to help guide them. I don't predict. This is not a predictive tool. It's a guidance. So really quickly, I tell you, the lines on the hands, the lines that you just mentioned, are the mirror of neural pathways in our brain. So the way that our brain is wired and how we see the world and how we experience the world is reflected in our hands. That's just a quick way of explaining it. In our fingerprints, there is a code of the soul level purpose. So the soul level reason why we came here to be, which is crucial in building a business, because there are certain characteristics we came here to embody that once we know, if we put them in our business will be an expression of what we came here to do. So a lot of business, interrupt me anytime. A lot of business owners start a business because they see a need and they're like, this worked for somebody else, I'm going to follow that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I see this person doing really well doing this thing, I'm going to do that, right? Or right now in a social media world that we live in, you see success stories all the time and you're like, oh my God, this niche worked for this person, I'm going to do that. I was there for 10 years. I was an accidental coach. I became an accidental coach 10 years ago, and I can tell a story about that too. And for 10 years, I kept following what worked for other people. Mm-hmm. Because I thought, right, like if it works for them, this is a hot niche. I'm going to work with those people. Those people have money. I'm going to work with them. And then I had to reverse engineer what I came here to do, and none of it matters. And none of what works for other people, none of what the hottest niche is, or who are the people with money, none of it plays the role in my business anymore. And that's the sweet spot that I found from my own success and my consistency in business, and that's what I help people to do now.
Amazing. That is freaking amazing. Okay. There's so much stuff in there that I know. Okay, so when this person read your hand, mm-hmm. I am assuming that you weren't doing any of the things that this person was talking about, but you were feeling it inside. And it sounded like you were not ready to really bring it out. Like you were fearful to bring out all of that stuff inside because you were like, no, this can't be. But when that person read your hand and did it so well, tapped into what you were feeling inside, it was like jackpot.
100%. You hit it right on the head. Yes. There were things that I knew are true inside of my heart, inside of my soul, and I would go about my life. I lived in Manhattan at a time. I lived in beautiful Denver, Colorado, and I'm out in nature a lot. At a time, I lived in Manhattan where I was surrounded by a certain way of looking at things and certain way of seeing myself. And there was this other me dying to be out in the world, but I had no idea how to be that. So when this woman analyzed my hands and she gave me certain information that it's not like she told me something I didn't know. She gave me a permission to step out and be that person. And it's not like I woke up the next morning and I was like, this is who I am now. It's still been a journey.
Right.
I mean, it's been 6 years since my first analysis, and I constantly keep adding dimensions to how I present myself and who I am out in the world. But every single step I take, it's closer and closer to who I am here to be. But you're very right on. I didn't know how to be this person who I was on the inside out in the world. I had no permission. I had no examples. I didn't know it was possible for me because I had all these beliefs, and I was already self-aware to a degree. I was already into yoga, and I was already into spiritual way of living. And still, I was blocked by all these things that I didn't know were there in my way. And then when this woman, her name is Denise, when she said certain things to me, I'm like, how did you know these things? And this wasn't predictive. This wasn't like, this is what I see for you. This is more like, this is who I see you as, because that's what's in your hands. And she didn't know anything about me either.
Wow.
And yeah. And little by little, I'm like, yeah, this everything she's told me is who I am. So it gave me permission to embrace it. And then I plugged in the mindset, right? Because a lot of it is in the mindset. If I don't believe that people will pay me, people will not pay me. If I don't believe there are clients out there for what I'm here to do, there are no clients for me to do, yes, to pay me for what I'm here to do, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of it is mindset. A lot of it is we create the world out from inside out, right?
From inside out. Yes.
Correct. Yes. And I teach that to my clients. You can actually call in your clients. So my first clients, when I first became a coach, I became an accidental coach. I wanted to learn how to feed myself. I became aware that there was a way that the food was connected to how we experience life. And I wanted to learn about holistic nutrition, not about the chemical aspect of nutrition, but mm-hmm. more of a holistic approach to how to feed myself with food, with thoughts, with beliefs, with exercise, everything that feeds me. And I found a school that was teaching that. It was in New York, and it was my first experience of learning holistic approach to living. And unbeknownst to me, I don't know how I didn't see it. I'm glad I didn't, but everywhere all over their website and everything they were advertising, you will learn how to do this for other people. I did not see it, right? Blind spot. I did not see it, and probably a good thing, because if I saw it, I probably wouldn't do it. So here I am graduating from the school that teaches me how to help other people live holistic life and feed themselves, and how to coach them into it. I'm like, what is this coaching thing? So I became an accidental coach. I had very few tools, but all of a sudden I learned about I can do something to help other people. I don't have to be a doctor. I don't have to, there is this other way of helping people achieve something in life, right? Yeah, so I became an accidental coach, and my first few clients, I was so excited about what I learned for myself that I couldn't stop talking about it. So my first few clients were just like, show me how to do it. And I'm like, okay, you're going to have to pay me. And I had no idea how to invite people to pay me for this work. I was making a ton of money in real estate because people were paying for houses, right? There is something tangible that's not related to what I deliver. All of a sudden, I was inviting them to work with me, a service I was providing. And there was all this stuff in my head about what it means about me, what it means about them, and what I have to deliver, and things that I had to work through. And it's really taken me a long time to get to this place. But mindset, what I believe, how I see the people who come to me, all of that has taken a long time to evolve and for me to see. But now I know I can call in people to work with me.
Wow. It is so amazing, Anna. Just so amazing what you do. And you kind of blew me away with this being connected to my brain. Oh my gosh. That kind of blew me away. Now, I've got to go research some of that so I can figure that out. And of course, I'll be reaching out to you for a hand analysis because
I love it.
I know that this is not accidental. I just know it's not. There's a purpose behind everything the Creator did. Mm-hmm. And so, you are so right, Anna, when you talk about people just looking around, trying to figure out what it is that we're supposed to be doing. You know, I've had several conversations with God about my purpose, because I am just trying to tap into me to figure out what my purpose is and what I should be doing. And so for me, I feel, I can't wait to have my hand analyzed, because I feel like I am just where I am right now. What I'm doing, helping women, coaching women right now, is just one pit stop along the way. And I'll only be here I really feel this inside. I feel like I'll only be doing this for a short period of time. It's my pit stop. And then I'll be moving on to something greater, to a greater purpose that I have. I just automatically know that I'm a giver and I'm a helper. That's what I like to do. And so I just know it's surrounding something else with giving and helping. I don't know what it is, but what I do is I just keep walking out this path that I'm on and praying that it will lead me to the next path. And so I am so excited about this hand analysis thing. It's like, oh my gosh, I have to get my hand analyzed. I just want to hear it. I really do. And what makes me feel really good about it is, I've had clients who say to me, I'm not into the woo-woo thing. And, I have to say, what is the woo-woo thing? And they'll say, well, this thing with, thinking into a better feeling and all this stuff. And so, I have to really help them understand what mindset really, really is.
Yeah.
And so it's not a woo-woo thing, it's really who you are. It's your mindset. It's being able to change or improve some things about you, the way you see the world, your view of things. And so, this to me is even less woo-woo than because it's these lines I've been looking at in my hands forever. And I'm so amazed. I came from this large family with all these sisters, and me and all my sisters can stick our hands out and all of our lines are different. And we're like, why aren't our lines the same? We're sisters,
Yeah, you're right on. Yeah, there's so much more to it. Hand shapes, finger zones, all of that, like zones of fingers, like in between the knuckles, like they all mean something. So that's what I used to help. Okay, so following that thread of thinking, based on what I created and have tested, not only do we have a purpose, we also are here to serve certain kind of people. And it's very closely connected to what we came here to learn ourselves. So this whole idea of ideal client, right? That I fought for a very long time. I mean, a whole decade of turning over, denying niche, denying that there is ideal client, because I didn't want to be boxed in, because I didn't want to be limited, right? And I'm a unique person, which, by the way, shows in my hand. I'm all about being unique and being individualistic. Not everybody is, but my character is so. And I didn't want to be limited. And so I took the hand analysis and I started to have this conversation with my clients and digging deeper into it and digging deeper into the material that was already researched and presented to me. And I was able to identify that just like we have the purpose and the lines show who we are and how we think, how we perceive the world, what we need and what our gifts are, there are also lines that show that certain gifts and skills that we have that we're not using, and we probably are in a penalty zone, like experiencing the backlash of it instead of experiencing the gift of it. And it's a penalty, but it's like, it's either it feels good or it doesn't. It's not like God is punishing us. I don't believe that at all.
Right.
It's just like we either experience the things that feel good or things that don't feel good, right? But I used all those things and started to help my clients identify who they are here to help specifically. So it goes beyond even like who I am here to be and what I am here to do. And it drills down into who is this person that I came here to help and serve based on my own skills and gifts and character and what I can do, what I cannot do. Who am I here to serve? I believe we have contracts with people, soul level contracts, and I decode it based on a hand analysis. So even though it sounds woo, I still take all the information from the scientific hand analysis. And by the way, it's scientific because it's been proven based on 70,000 hands and centuries of research.
Wow.
So it's repeatable and teachable, which is what makes it scientific,
Mhm.
right? So yeah, and to follow what you just said, we are also very unique, like your sisters, right? You came from the same environment, the same parents, and you could still be such different people, right? And I mean, we see it all the time. People are born to the same circumstances, and one will choose one thing, one will choose another. And it's based on how they choose to perceive the world and perceive their circumstances. And in our hands, it's like I mentioned, and you feedbacked, how we are wired in our brain shows up in a hand. So if you don't like how, I can tell you this is how you see the world, and there is the student path, which is the way you don't like it, and a master path, the way that it serves you. If you are on a master path of a certain thing, like for example the short line, and I'm just looking at it very quickly and in a picture, the short line that I see in your hands is I think, and I don't see the rest of it, but it's part of a mind, part of how you think. So it's not your lifeline.
Oh.
Yeah. Lifeline is this one right here. So raise your hand for me really quickly. Yeah. Your lifeline is this right here. It's the one that wraps. Yes. This, the short one. And that's all I can see, right? I don't see the rest of your hand. I can only, and the light and everything. Actually, by the way, I read hands based on prints like this. Because see how much easier I can see things?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
You can't see it like this. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's your mind. So I can tell just on this, and your headline could extend. I can tell just this little short piece. I can tell that you are somebody who is very bullet point.
You're right. You're right. If it's not bullet pointed for me, I don't want it. I throw it out. I'm like, it's got to be quick. It's got to. That's how I think.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's more to it, but it's just a quick thing I can tell you. Very bullet point.
Yes.
So it's not predictive. It's just how you think. It's how you process information.
Yes.
And it's great to know, right? And this is just a tiny little bit of it. And yeah, so it's just an incredible tool, and it's an incredible tool to build your business certain way that serves you, and then attract certain people to this business that you can help based on how you perceive, or based on how you think, based on how you create.
Wow. That is just amazing. This is what you have to do. And I'm talking to my audience here. You have got to go check Anna out. She is at, and I will put her link in the podcast on my Kim Wiggins coaching page. There'll be an entire page there devoted to Anna, annakowalska.com, and you will be able to get her free gift. She has an amazing free gift for you. Have an amazing day. It's a 4-minute inspiration that is changing how people create their days. And she will be able to, you'll be able to get that there. You'll be able to check out more information about her. I will come back. I can promise you this. After I've done my reading, and I will bring Anna back after I've done my reading.
I'd love it.
And Anna, I've got this retreat. I live in Georgia. And so I have this retreat in my mind. And I'm going to have to make sure that I bring you to this retreat for the guests there. Because I think that they would be able to enjoy this beyond. They would be able to schedule readings with you while you're there for the weekend and be able to really tap into the purpose of their life.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a refresh, renew, rebirth type of retreat.
Love it.
So it's going to be, you will be there. So for those of you who are listening, it's coming. It's coming in 2019. Anna will be there. Yes.
I'm already excited about it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It opens up the world to people. So yeah,
Yes.
and it's a beautiful compliment to what you do. So yeah, I'm super excited about that.
Yes. How closer can you get to your purpose than to what's in your hands?
You can't. And I'll tell you my story really quickly. So, first of all, let me tell you, the purpose is written in the fingerprints. Just get this. Fingerprints are formed in a utero before we come out of our mama's belly. Between week 13 and 17, our fingers are fully like the lines that you see on fingerprints are fully formed. They never ever change, ever. For the rest of your life, you have the same fingerprints, which is why they are used to identify us by governments. I actually just read an article. For centuries now, centuries ago, they used to use fingerprints to sign agreements. Once you sign them with your fingerprint, they were less disputable. And research has found that people disputed it less. Anyway, they never ever change. They're uniquely yours. Nobody in the world has the same fingerprints. And there is a system that decodes what your purpose is based on your fingerprints. Your purpose and your lesson, which is even more important because it points out your blind spot. Once you know it, you'll never be tripped up again. So for me, again, there were no artists in my environment. I did not grow up around any creative people. If anybody knows history, I was born in Poland, which was less than quarter century after the war. Creativity, artists used to be killed because they're just like too free, right? Like that's the first people that get killed in a war is artists and creative people. So there is no self-expression, right? In my environment, there was no space for self-expression. I didn't know any artists. I used to walk around and tell people randomly, I'm an artist, but I don't know what kind. And because I wasn't born with any obvious skills or gifts around creativity. When I had my analysis, the first thing she asked me, Denise, said, what role does art play in your life? And I painted her this beautiful picture. And part of it was me being an artist, a self-expressed creative out in the world. And she goes, all right, go do it. There are other aspects to my purpose which play into the entrepreneurial spirit and leadership and helping people create businesses. But all of a sudden I started to paint and I'm like, I don't know how, but I'm going to do it. And my life started to open up because I stepped into my purpose.
Look at that painting behind you.
Yeah. This is expression of a feminine. I don't know if you can see a woman dancing. Yes. She's a tree, she's a dancer, and those spheres are just pops of energy that are guiding her and working with her. There is a flower of life. If anybody knows, flower of life expresses like the oneness. So yeah, this woman out of nowhere said, what role does art play in your life? And I'm like, how did you know this? I've never said a word to anybody, but I would just walk around and say I'm an artist, but I don't know what kind because I wasn't born with any obvious skill. So one cannot get any closer to life purpose as we do knowing what's in our fingerprints.
Wow. That is truly amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, Anna just blown my mind. But audience, I promise you, go check Anna out. You will see her here again. And those of you who would love to come to Georgia to my retreat, let me know. Anna will be there.
Yes.
It'll be next year. It'll be very nice. And Anna will be there to help you see your life purpose. I can't wait to do mine. Anna will be back after she's done mine, and we'll talk a little bit about it. It'll be fun. Oh, my gosh. Thank you so much, Anna. This all ties in to having that deeper meaning, having that deeper understanding of what your purpose is. what business what business are you focused on? The right business? Are you focused on the right people? And it's something, as business owners, Anna, we never really know. We are just, it's a shot in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I feel like I have gotten to the place where I've just embraced the fact that this for me is a pit stop. It's not the end.
Right.
So
you're right. Yeah. Yes, you're absolutely right. And it's trial and error, and it's what's showing up for us to respond to, and combination of what's showing up for us to respond to and what we want to create for our experience.
Wow.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. And it's, to me, building a business that's an expression of our purpose, it's the most powerful, most challenging, and most rewarding path to self-expression and self-actualization.
You're absolutely right. I like to say to my clients, do not build a business that's going to make the most money. Build a business you love and the money will come.
Yes. Yes.
Build a business you love. You have to love it.
Yes.
And so that is a hard thing for my clients to figure out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, some days I love it, some days I don't.
Yes. Yes, 100%. And I spoke to a lot of, I've interviewed people who have achieved certain level of success where I am reaching to be, where my goals are, where my vision is. And I haven't met one person who says every single day I wake up and I love my business. They love what they do on a grand scale, which is something, once you understand your purpose and you start seeing your business from that way, you will wake up on a day when you don't love your business, and you can physically, because I'm sure you do a similar thing, where you walk your clients through what it is that they're doing it for, the why, the vision.
Yes.
Read it every single day. Let it pull you out. And on the days that you don't love what you do,
yes.
and you really wish you had your job back.
Yes. Yes.
Remind yourself why you're doing it, to love it, to fall in love with it all over again. I mean, it's the same thing that happens in our relationships. We don't love our partner every single day the same way.
Yeah, you're right.
We have to remember why we're doing it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. It'll change your life. Oh, wow. I can't wait. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you. My absolute pleasure to contribute and to be here with you and to be here with your audience. Thank you so much for giving me the microphone.
You are so welcome. And for everyone that's listening out there, Anna, if you could give us one actionable takeaway for the people listening out there before we conclude this, that'd be great.
Yeah, great. So first of all, go check out my website for sure. Mm-hmm. Learn more about scientific hand analysis and what it can do for you. Another actionable item, something that I do every single day, I connect, and it may not seem like an action, but it works magic. Every single day, even if it takes a minute or two, I take longer, but even if it takes a minute or two, connect to your center, connect to who you are, right? Your soul, your higher self, God, whatever. Connect to something that's deeper and bigger than your human self. Every single day, even if it's a minute or two. Center yourself, right, in this thing that's other than just your humanness. That's something that no matter what I do, no matter what my day takes me, I do not start my day with connecting. And there is a very specific way to do it, but just connect with God, your soul, your higher self, whatever you call it, however it presents it to yourself in your life where you are right now. Connect to something other than your human and your human struggle.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I have been out of commission for the last few days and have not been able to do that effectively like I normally do. Mm-hmm. And I was just telling some ladies yesterday that I feel off. And it didn't even dawn on me until this morning when I centered myself and spent that time that I spend every morning doing that. Mm-hmm. That's when it occurred to me. That's why I've been off for the last few days. That's why I feel off, because I haven't been doing this. So you're right. It makes a big, big difference.
Yes, huge.
Thank you so much, Anna.
You're very welcome, Kimberly.
And thank you, audience, for showing up to Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast, where we are changing lives and helping women to grow, develop, and connect with themselves. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Bye Bye 9 to 5 podcast has ended, but it doesn't stop there. Be sure to subscribe for more strategies and advice to help you move from employee to escapreneur, to have the kind of success you have always dreamed of without sacrificing family or time. And don't forget to rate and review us so we can continue to bring you the best content possible to motivate and encourage you on this journey. See you on the next episode.